All right, so my name is Kelsey. I'm a sales representative at Cutco, and I specialize in selling knives. Now, I'll be completely honest. When I started working here, I didn't start because, oh, it's Cutco or oh, it's knives or anything. They're the only people that called back, I wanted money, and it sounded cool to sell knives, Well, what really got me into the business and interested in the knives was when I was in a meeting and it was, the training sessions and all that good stuff. And we were all just sitting there and the manager was going on, like, yeah, be gung-ho about the product and all that good stuff. But he got a call. So I was like, okay, it's obviously important, I'll be right back. He told the assistant manager to take over. Well, the assistant manager likes to be the fun guy in the office. So he decided to pull out a bag of apples, go up, set it down on the table, and say, I want to show you guys something. Have you ever heard of Fruit Ninja? And of course, everyone raised their hand like, yeah, we've heard of Fruit Ninja. He picked up the butcher knife and said, throw an apple at me, I dare you. So, of course, a little bit of hesitation because throwing apples at management isn't always the #1 idea. But he wound up throwing the apple and slice, it went straight into 2 pieces. So somebody pulled out an orange, like, how about this? It's got a bigger hide, maybe it would be a little bit tougher when it's flying. And he said, try it. And so they threw it, and it sliced, and just as the oranges were hitting the floor, the manager walked in. Needless to say, they had a long discussion after that, but I thought that was really cool. So that also leads into the forever guarantee. If you abuse your knives in any way, you can send it back to the company. If it gets damaged from the abuse, you can send it back to the company, and for half the retail price, get it completely replaced. So the item is actually your proof of purchase. You don't actually need a receipt, so you don't have to dig through all of your files and look for a little piece of paper just to send back the knife. All you have to do is pull out the knife, email somebody, and then send it off. You'll get it back within the next few weeks. Now, that also goes with fixing or replacing. If somehow your knife gets damaged in any way and it wasn't for abuse, all you have to do is send it back, and it's completely free to get fixed or replaced. It will be sharpened, polished, cleaned, everything, and then sent back. And then sharpening. Free sharpening, but what's really cool about the free sharpening is all you have to do is call your local office, and they will send a sales rep out to your house to sharpen the knife for you there at your house, so you don't have to wait for your knife to be sharpened. Which shouldn't be very frequent, but if you ever want it sharpened, it's always great to have. And if you buy the knives and you're not happy with them after, a few days, then you can always return it and get all your money back within the first 15 days, which would be great if it applied to other things like cars. But moving on, Cutco knives are made to be completely sanitary. The handle is made out of a thermal resin, which, unlike wood or plastic, will not absorb or, hold on to any extra germs. And the rivets in the handle, as you can see here, are not brass, which most knives are made out of. Brass usually, according to temperature, changes in size. It expands or contracts, and that creates gaps for food particles, and that makes the knives extremely unsanitary. Now, the tang is, does everyone know what the tang is? No? All right. So, those cheapy knives where it's just a little plastic handle and you go to cut something and you pull the knife and the knife just comes straight out of the handle? Yeah. Well, that little metal piece that goes into the handle is called the tang. These knives have a tang that go all the way around the handle, so there's no chance of it falling out of the handle at any point, which I think is really cool. And the high carbon steel is actually surgical grade, so it's made to last, it's made to stay sharp, and it's made to be stain resistant. So it won't corrode over time, it won't hold on to any extra germs, perfect for the kitchen. Now, the overall design, it is made in America, go New York, and the handle is completely ergonomic. It's made for lefties, righties, if you have a big hand, small hand, regardless of what you have, it's made for you. It fits everyone. As I said, the nickel rivets, they are made flush with the handle for one, to prevent any sanitary issues, but for comfort. While you're cutting through stuff, you don't want to have to deal with being scratched by the rivets or any extra parts sticking out of a knife. You're cutting something. You don't want to be cut from cutting something. And the double D edge here, Cutco does not do serrated edges. We have a double D edge, which, just to give you a bigger example, is about like that. It's made of 3 different edges, whereas a serrated edges is just round. So serrated knives usually tear through all of their meat, so your steak turns into a brisket, just completely destroyed. But double D edges are made to cut forward, backward, and straight down. So regardless of how you cut your food, it'll work. And moving on. So just to compare, we have Henkel's, which is #1 in most stores. And as you can see here, brass rivets, that's never a great sign. But they're usually made in Germany, Japan, Thailand, not America. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, just to throw that out there. Just, we would like to stimulate our economy being here in America, so, you know. And 10 different qualities. Henkel's has 10 different quality knives, which means they make lower quality knives to be cheaper, but that also means that you're paying exactly for what you get for them. So if you're paying for a cheaper knife, it's not going to last long. That's something that you can expect. Cutco has one quality, and that is the best quality that we can make, which is why we don't really have a cheap set of knives, we just have our knives. But thankfully they're not as expensive as these guys. And they do have plastic handles, which is extremely important. Even treated plastic is porous, especially in the kitchen. And moving on, Wusthof. Interesting name for an interesting company. As you can see here, it's the exact same blade, but they all have different handles. You can choose exactly what kind of handle you want, which I thought is a really cool idea. Now, downside to it, yeah, it's not dishwasher safe, and I think that one is the only wood handle. The rest of them were labeled as synthetic material. I looked everywhere online and I couldn't find out what synthetic materials they were talking about, so I have no idea what the heck is in the knife. Makes me worry a little bit because I don't know what I'm using to cut my food. So these are made in Germany, which is pretty cool. And they're not dishwasher safe, forgot to mention that. So, you know, $400 blades, such as, I believe, this one here. You throw it in the dishwasher, it's ruined. Not too great. Next, Shun. I will say I love these knives. They're made in Japan. They're extremely high quality, and the metal is altered. It's different. It's all one piece, but it's all created and forged differently. The only downside is that this 2014 Blade Show winner is about $400 just for that knife. And that set is about $900 just for 3 knives. I'd say that's kind of pricey. I would love to have these knives, but I don't exactly have that kind of money for those kind of knives, which is why I love Cutco. So to round up, I've kind of told you, I told you about the forever guarantee. Forever guarantee, you know, you can get free replacements, free fixes, sharpens, everything. And as long as you have the knife, you will always have an ability to get a replacement. This is the last set of knives that you will ever have to buy. And let me look. The design is made to be sanitary. It's made to last a long time. It's made to stay strong and sharp as long as you're using it. It's good for everyday use. It's good for in the kitchen. It's good for fancy nights when you want to try that new recipe that you found on Pinterest. So with that, I'd like to ask if you could all please turn in the forms. But also, if you have any ideas, also my name is Kelsey Bass. Shoot me an email. I might have a few deals for you. Thank you for your time.